What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here with Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of a look at my CD collection. So, of course, it's the first video we've done on this in a couple weeks. But all the previous episodes, we have basically covered everything you see here. All right, the Wall of Doom. We've gone through all the every CD shelf, every movie shelf here. Now we're going to move into my closet because, of course, I can't fit everything up there. So I'm going to start with all of my snap case boxes of jazz and jazz fusion and jazz rock stuff. So I'm going to move the video. You guys can kind of see what we're going to be doing here. All this stuff. That's right. Every one of them, they're all alphabetical. Here we're starting with A through C. So here we got John Abercrombie, the Aristocrats. Some people might be Aristocrats. Is that really fusion? Well, kind of to me. All instrumental. It's rock, it's jazz, it's prog. I throw it in here. Got Brian Auger's Oblivion Express. Lots of Brian Auger stuff. Oop, that's not Brian Auger, that's Horace C. Arnold. Great drummer. Here we go. There's Brian Auger. All right, very cool kind of jazz rock stuff. Got lots of Oblivion Express CDs, as you can see. Got a couple George Benson collections. Belado. Of course, from the Moon June Records. Got Brian Beller, the great bass player. Art Blakey. Love it, Art Blakey. Here's A Night in Tunisia. One of the great jazz ensembles of all time. One of the great band leaders of all time. Art Blakey, tremendous drummer. Another one of those guys like Miles Davis, like Frank Zappa. Just had so many great players come up through his ranks. Got a whole bunch of those. Then we start the Brand X stuff. And, of course, I don't have these in order. They should be. Livestock should not be first. All right, Masks should not be up there. Here we go. And we got Unorthodox Behavior. All right. Rock and Roll. Brand X stuff. Brecker Brothers. And, of course, my favorite heavy metal bebop. Okay, Dave Brubeck. Got some Bruford, of course. Bruford Levered Up in Extremities. Kitty Burrell. Got some cool collaboration between Gary Burton and a bunch of dudes. Gary Burton, these are a couple on the GRP label. An older one as well. Chick Corea. The great Donald Byrd. Man, these are so good. Bird in Flight, Bird in Hand, both excellent. Got a couple cool Cab CDs, right? Of course, Tony McAlpine, Dennis Chambers, Bunny Brunel. Brian Auger also participated in one of those. Got the very cool kind of Latin rock jazz band Caldera. Right, so we're going to close that up. Move on to the next box. All right, we're into C here. So all sorts of Larry Carlton stuff. Love the BGO collections. You get 3 on 1 on that one. Solid Ground. Larry Carlton and Lee Ritenour. More Larry Carlton. Larry and Robin Ford. Larry and Steve Lukather. Very cool. Chroma Music on the Edge featuring, all those dudes. Very cool. I bought that ages ago. It's one of those CTI releases. Very cool stuff. All right, then we get into the Stanley Clarke stuff. Right. Cool Live. Great self-titled. School Days. Classic. Journey to Love. Time Exposure. If This Bass Could Only Talk. More live stuff. Stanley Clarke and Friends. Live at the Greek. Very cool. Larry Carlton. Billy Cobham. Crew. Then we got all the Billy Cobham stuff. Got all sorts of Billy solo albums. Love Billy. Of course, got to have Spectrum, right? Got to have Spectrum. Alive Mother for You. All sorts of cool stuff. Little Ornette Coleman. Whole bunch of John Coltrane. Live at Birdland Classic. Village Voice. Got the classic of Love Supreme. Blue Train. Coltrane and Don Cherry. Excellent stuff. My Favorite Things. The Great Giant Steps. Okay, more cool stuff. Train 90. Why is that falling apart there? It's because there was a big booklet in there wanting to come out. Here we go. All right, from there we move on to Chick Corea. The Vigil. 3 quartets. Miroslav Tus. Stefano Bolani. Mary Sings. Then, of course, all the great Electric Band albums. Love this stuff. Some George LeMay specials in there. Some cool live boots. Acoustic band. Ben Croft. All right, we continue on into C. Oh, let me adjust myself a little bit. All right, so we got some Larry Coryell. Okay, the great Spaces. John McLaughlin and all sorts of other folks. There's this, Cool Mind. These Vanguard CDs never quite fit, as you can see. They're way too big. We got the 11th House stuff here. Great, great fusion band. One of the unsung fusion bands from the 70s, along with Return to Forever, Mahavishnu, and all that. All right. More 11th House stuff. Don't sleep on these 11th House albums, folks. If you are a fusion fan, gotta have these. These are classic. Then we got All My Crusaders. The great fusion funk R&B pop band from the 70s. Jack DeJohnette. We got all the Al Di Meola solo albums I have. Land of the Midnight Sun. Elegant Gypsy. Splendido Hotel Tour. Thank you, George. Casino. Tour de Force Live. Some of the more recent stuff. Then we got one of the great jazz albums. Eric Dolphy's Out to Lunch with Freddie Hubbard and crew. Tony Williams is on there too. Excellent. The Illinois concert from him as well. Got some another cool supergroup Dreams. You got the great band Elements, featuring 2 members from the Pat Metheny group, Danny Gottlieb and Mark Egan. Excellent albums. We got Flying Island, Fuzzy Music. Put stuff where it belongs, right? Some Robin Ford. I got a whole bunch of Robin Fords. Foreplay, Steve Gadd, Frank Gambale. This is one of the great fusion live albums of all time. Frank Gambale live. Smokin', of course, from the Chick Corea Electric Band. It's got a long storied solo career. More Gambale, some Garage Mahal. Got a whole bunch of those. Very cool. U.S. bands. More modern fusion. Very cool stuff. Got a whole bunch of theirs. Might even have all of them. Not quite sure. All right. Continue on. Here we got going into more G. Jan Gabarek. Some Benny Goodman, Dexter Gordon. Great Dexter Gordon. This is a killer album go. I would tell you what, this Carnegie Hall from Benny Goodman from 1938, smoking, folks. Excellent stuff. Jeff Golub. Of course, yes, that Jeff Golub, the guitar player from Billy Squires band. Has a bunch of jazz solo albums out. Cameron Graves. Terrible glare here. Holy smokes. Here we go. Some Gary Green, who, if you like Wes Montgomery, I would highly recommend you check out the Gary Green stuff. Great, great guitar player. Plays in a similar style. Ian Hammer. Johnny Griffin. We got Herbie Hancock. I don't have all of them here. Got a couple that are out that I've been listening to of late, but a whole bunch of cool stuff from Herbie. Excellent album right there. Got the great Mondishi. Great stuff there. Sean Lane, Jonas Hellborg. Again, I got other Sean Lane stuff laying around. Some Scott Henderson, got the Players album. Hiromi. Here's all my Alan Holdsworth stuff. Right, gotta have Holdsworth. All sorts of Holdsworth. Freddie Hubbard, the great red clay, hub tones, excellent stuff. Great Iceberg, great fusion band from the 70s. Isotope. The Isotope stuff is killer too, boy. Gary Boyle and company, really great fusion stuff from the 70s. Moving on. All right, we got some Keith Jarrett. Jazz is Dead. Some Jing Chi, very cool fusion band, all-star fusion band from more modern times, featuring some classic dudes. Got Alfonso Johnson, Jens Johansson, Steve Kahn, Kick the Cat, Cock Marshall Trio, Cornet. Great modern day jazz guitar player Julian Lage, Michael Landau, Sean Lane. There's the Sean Lane stuff. Mingo Lewis, Wallace Tribe, Chuck Mangione, Mahavishnu Project, Herbie Mann, Push Push. Got a very young Dwayne Allman on there. Got some cool Pat Martino stuff. McCoy Tyner, Charlie Mingus, Joni Mitchell, Hank Mobley, Thelonious Monk. Got a whole bunch of Thelonious Monks here. With Coltrane, got the great Criss Cross, Monk's Dream. Classic stuff. Got some Wes Montgomery. Great Alphonse Mouzon. Classic fusion right there. Especially this one. Got Tommy Bolin on it. Oh, got the great Sidewinder from Lee Morgan. Killer album right there. Got the cool MVP stuff. Shrapnel stuff. Sean Lane, Frank Gambale, Holdsworth, you know, all the Ian Carr Nucleus stuff. These albums are great too. I would highly recommend these. Great British fusion band. Ian Carr, great trumpet players. Kind of, to me, he was always kind of like the British Miles Davis. Got all those, a lot of great BGO collections, 2-on-1s. You can basically get the whole, most of the discography with just a handful of them because they all have the 2-on-1. Very cool stuff. All right, next box. OHM, Ohm, Oregon. Got a whole bunch of Oregon stuff. Wonderful music, the music of Oregon, Ralph Towner and company. Man, it's just so calming and gorgeous, kind of chamber jazz. Got a whole bunch of their albums. Got some Charlie Parker, Percy Jones. Got all the Passport stuff, at least a lot of the early stuff. Don't have all of them. Great album covers on these. Great German fusion band. Bunch of those, a few more. Got some Protocol stuff. Simon Phillips and company. And of course, Return to Forever. Got some cool boots there, courtesy of George Lemay. Some of the early stuff. In case any of you want to see some of the stuff here. These are all live ones, live in America. All kind of boot stuff. Excellent. What a great live band. Got the early albums. And of course, you know, all the classics. Got Seventh Galaxy, Romantic Warrior, mandatory stuff. RTF Returns, the Mothership Returns. And I got a whole bunch of Rippingtons. I like the Rippingtons, actually. It's more kind of like smooth jazz fusion, but I dig it. Really tuneful stuff. Tasty instrumentation. I was always a fan of the Rippingtons. One of my favorites from the GRP label. Got a whole bunch of those. As you can see, Buddy Rich, got some Lee Ritenour stuff. Captain Fingers is absolutely terrific. Some Sonny Rollins. More classic stuff, man. What a sax player. What else here? Some Japanese fusion roundhouse. There we go. David Rose, GRP Live. George Lemmy's probably wondering, hey, where's all the fragile stuff? Yeah, I obviously, you see these boxes are pretty tight, George, so I have lots of stuff that's sitting in my closet that I can't fit into these boxes, which means I need to start up a new box and try and get more stuff in there. It never ends, man. Never ends. All right, so here we are at R. Thierry Ripdahl. Terry, however he says his name. However he says his name, he rules. Here we have him with Jack DeJohnette and Miroslav Vitous. Great album there. Odyssey is classic, if you've never heard it. Great stuff there. Great guitar player, great fusion stuff. What else we got here? David Sanchez, John Schofield, including, got Blue Matter sitting out front here. Don't fit. Tom Scott and the LA Express. These are really good too. Great albums from Secret Oyster, another great European fusion band. These are killer albums. Sea Sun might be the best. Got some Wayne Shorter, all sorts of Wayne Shorter here. Michael Shreve. Got some Horace Silver, some Jimmy Smith, great Hammond B3 organ stuff. Snarky Puppy. And then a whole bunch of Spyro Gyra. I'm also a big Spyro Gyra fan. Again, borders on kind of smooth jazz, but I dig it. Good band. I got a whole bunch of their things. I've been listening to them for a long time. Some Steps Ahead. Then we got some Mike Stern. The great Mike Stern. His early albums are great, but he's got a ton of really good ones. As you can see, got a lot of Mike Stern, even one he did not that long ago with Jeff Lorber Fusion, as well as one with Eric Johnson, which is pretty cool. Okay, stuff. John Sermon, Keith Tippett, David Torn. Got a whole bunch of David Torn things. This is great right here. Torn with Mick Karn and Terry Bozzio. This is also great. Cloud About Mercury. Basically the same lineup. Well, sort of. Not really. Similar type music, I should say. This has got Mark Isham, Tony Levin, and Bill Bruford. Yeah, great stuff. David Torn, where it's more kind of like avant-garde jazz, I guess you could say. And then we've got... Oh, wait, there's more. So we got all sorts of stuff floating on top here because I can't fit it all in here. Virtue, Uncle Mo's Space Ranch, Steve Smith and Vital Information. We got Ralph Towner, Transit Express, Tribal Tech, all sorts of Tribal Tech here. Michael Urbaniak, Steve Smith and Vital Information, Miroslav Vitous, Chad Wackerman, Grover Washington, Kazumi Watanabe, Dave Weckelman, and of course all the weather report stuff. Got these right here tight. Jeez, I might as well pull this out because I've got to show this off tonight, right? Nope, we'll leave that out. All the cool weather report stuff. Check out some of these live albums, which are really good. If you dig Weather Report, live and unreleased, but of course, you know, you can't get past some of the studio albums, right? Jim Weeder's Project Percolator, got the Lenny White stuff, right? More great funky fusion stuff from the drummer from Return to Forever. Tony Williams' Lifetime. Classic stuff right here. These are the two albums with Alan Holdsworth. Got a couple Yellow Jackets, and Larry Young, of course, Larry Young, formerly of Tony Williams' Lifetime. So there's more, though. Hang tight. Because, of course, you didn't see all the Jean-Luc Ponte stuff, right? So we've got all of this classic stuff. So these boxes here have a couple artists that I have like a shit ton of stuff over about. So Ponte, I got all these Pontes, lots of stuff. Jaco Pastorius, all right, all sorts of Jaco CDs. City, you know, all sorts of live. There's so much live Jaco stuff. Then, of course, that's got Borelli Legren. I got stuff with him and who's on this one? I forget. This is Mike Stern. I got live stuff with Hiram Bullock. That's that right there. I mean, God, there's so much Jaco stuff and so many like kind of import things you can get. All right, crazy stuff. Plus, I got this, you know, his 2 studio albums right here, Jaco and Word of Mouth. But tons of live stuff. So many live albums. And then, of course, all the Pat Metheny stuff. You know, Bright Side's Life, Off Ramp. And that's all Pat Metheny stuff. And then, of course, we got some collaborations, Metheny and Schofield, and so on and so forth. But yeah, Charlie Hayden, Watercolors, 8081, classic stuff. And last but not least, we're going to go all John McLaughlin and Miles Davis. So here we have all of the Mahavishnu orchestras. I got to take out Intermounting Flame because we're going to be recording a 4 Fusion Friday episode. But yeah, Apocalypse, Visions, Birds of Fire, Between Nothingness. So got most of that stuff. I may have even already shown this box. I'm not really sure. I think I might, because I think George Lemay called me out and said, "You were missing one Mahavishnu album." Yes, that is correct, George. Let's see, all sorts of McLaughlin solo, and then, of course, all the Miles Davis stuff. Lots and lots of Miles. Lots of live albums, good chunk of the studio albums. I have some box sets too, which I can't fit here, and obviously because they're too big and bulky. But yeah, the beautiful Sketches of Spain. If you've never heard this album, you're missing out. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. So yeah, here we have it. Another look at more of my music. This is all the jazz stuff. Like there's some more that obviously are not in these boxes that I just haven't been able to fit, but it's not a lot. Maybe another like 20 or 25 CDs, which need to find homes in here, but we'll get to that eventually. But so if I bring you another one, it's going to be a quick look in the closet because there's a lot in there, and I just don't know how to show it off in a good way because they're not neat shelves like this. They're shelves, but there's just a lot piled in there. But I might just give you a quick little tour of that without going too in depth, and that'll finish off this series. So hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Look at my jazz and jazz fusion, jazz rock CDs. So thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you real soon here with more stuff. Tune in tomorrow for In the Prague Seat. Till then, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like button, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.